Hey guys, welcome to another exciting video about dust weapons. In this one I'm going to be kind of going over the mass driver and some different ways to use it, just showing some, maybe talking about tactics, and later on in the video I'll go over some battle strategies for this kind of gameplay, or this kind of style of gameplay, I guess. In the very beginning here I'm just kind of showing you that it's like a 1-2 punch kind of thing, where first you start out with a grenade and then you finish off the mass driver. In this way you conserve your ammo a little bit, and especially with this supply depot here, I can just keep restocking my grenades and mass driver rounds. But if you have a nano hive, it works just as well. The idea with the mass driver is that it's more of a support weapon, and even though I'm kind of using it to just get a bunch of kills right now, it's good for area denial, which means pretty much that it prevents people from accessing an area or getting to an area. For instance, I was preventing people from proceeding up the ramps into Alpha, and getting the advantage of taking it, and then moving on to Bravo, even though they already had Bravo. But at this point, I'm just kind of trying to get the CRU over here, and it's not exactly working very well. I think I end up dying here pretty soon. But let's talk about the mass driver. So how it works. It has a blast radius, which means that the better the mass driver, the larger the blast radius. Which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, but like right here where I'm shooting really close to him, I didn't actually die by my mass driver, someone blew me up with a grenade, but if it was any other better mass driver, I would be dealing damage to myself, which it's a good thing for, having a large blast radius is a good thing for the, lots of enemies, but if you're trying to go on like really close, like that guy got really up in my face, I would have been killing myself with that mass driver. It does explosive damage, so 20% to armor, and then not so much to shields, so you want to be kind of careful around heavies. I make that mistake of like 2 or 3 times in this video where I'm shooting at a heavy, and he's not going down, and I didn't think of using grenades or anything, but like right here, I took a grenade, and then jumped up, actually it wasn't this one, but I took this grenade, and jumped up in his face, right there, and got the kill. But with heavies, you want to be extra careful because it's going to take more than 6 rounds, which is the standard amount of ammo count with the mass drivers, in order to take them down, which isn't exactly a good thing. So that's the other thing, is that the mass driver has, it doesn't have a lot of ammo, and so you kind of want to conserve it. And that's another reason to use grenades, or to use some other form of way to kill them. The last thing with the mass driver is that because it has an arc, you really want to have a height advantage, or else this ends up happening to you, where you really have, your grenades have nowhere to land, not grenades, but your projectiles have nowhere to land besides like behind the enemy, and it can be tough. But this is what it's good for, is say raining down on your opponent. You getting a good height advantage. Even though that didn't kill anyone, it still did a considerable amount of damage, to where that heavy right there is kind of sitting in the corner, and I was able to get the kill. But this is good for, say, if you have allies down on the ground who could pick off those enemies. Unfortunately, I didn't at the time. You just have to be careful when you have the height advantage, because anytime someone like a sniper can just pick you off like right there. The good thing about the splash damage, though, is that you can shoot around corners with it. I don't know if I do it in this video, but a lot of people will try and hide behind cover, and that's not exactly the case. Like right here, I'm trying to shoot into Alpha as I'm trying to hack it, and it is dealing some damage, doesn't deal enough damage to kill them, but like right there, I hit them a couple times, which scared them away and stopped the hack. Unfortunately, again, the sniper got me, and they started hacking again. Now, as for the strategies for this map, we were playing against Hellstorm. In the Orbital strategy, which I'll show you here, is that if you see, like I saw that Charlie being hacked right there, and decided that I'm gonna go throw the orbital over on Charlie in order to prevent it. And that way I got a couple kills, and we were able to keep those 3 objectives for a little while, which I thought at this point, we were in the lead, we were about to take, I saw my friendly at Alpha, but then he ended up dying, and it didn't end up going good from here. But we were, like I said, we were going up against Hellstorm, so they give us a good bit of a challenge here in this match. Another thing is that I think it was towards the middle, the beginning of the middle of the match, that someone put a bunch of uplinks on those pipes, which was a good thing, but it's not exactly the best strategy, because then all the new players end up spawning up there, and it can lead to some really chaotic matches where pretty much you're just sitting there while they hack all the objectives on the ground, because your entire team is sitting up on the pipes. And I'm making the same mistake where I'm trying to go up against a heavy. Fortunately, I got the kill because he was already weak, but if you see a heavy is already at full shield, you definitely want to kind of try a different strategy besides just full-on assaulting him. Again, I tried the same thing that I did earlier to maybe stop the hack by watching the objectives. And that's another thing, is that if you have the height advantage, keep your team informed. You want to make, like, throughout this battle, I was telling everybody, it's like, hey, Alpha's being hacked, or Alpha's about to be hacked, or there's people heading up to Charlie, or whatever. I can see from up here, because a lot of the times the ground forces don't know where a lot of people are during precision strikes. So that, again, back to the uplink thing. If you end up spawning a bunch of uplinks on the roof, that gives the enemy a great chance to just orbital. Right there, I blew up that guy who was trying to climb up the ladder. When you're up in a high point, you don't want other people to try and get a height advantage over you. Fortunately, with the pipes, there's only one other place where you can get a good height advantage on us, but they were doing so well on the ground that they didn't actually need any extra height advantage. Again, when you are up high, the snipers like to just pick off the random blueberries that keep spawning there, and they kept taking shots at me. So at this point, I decided I'm gonna take my battle to the ground. And this was a bad idea, because I ran up here and I saw that heavy trying to get direct hits with the master there and failing, and threw a couple bits of grenades or whatever. Like, okay, fuck this, I'm out. So jump down. Obviously that was enough to kill them, but at this point I thought, oh hey, the area's clear up there, we got a couple allies, we might be able to take Alpha back. But at this point I looked at the MCC levels, and I knew that there was no other way for us to win the match unless I could quickly hack Bravo here and then run over to Alpha and maybe take that. Even though they had those 2 CRUs there, the only thing I could really do at this point was just maybe get a few other points. But then I saw that there was a guy down there, and I only had 2 rounds in my mass driver. Again, going back to the fact that the mass driver doesn't have any ammo whatsoever. This grenade barely saved me here, because I was able to have him run away. But then he ends up getting a direct hit here, right in my face at the very end, which is another thing with the mass driver. If you can get direct hits, you end up doing a ton of damage, but it's very hard to do, and more of a luck thing. Another orbital here. I think this is more like a fail orbital. I tried to do that again. Someone put all the uplinks up here again, and they took our final objective, which was at Bravo. So I just kind of was like, okay, well, fuck this. I'm just gonna keep shooting. I'm gonna keep maybe pad my KDR a little bit more, because at this point, they already had the match in their hands. My team wasn't exactly doing very well. And I'll show you at the end of the match how organized, like Hellstorm, their entire squad was up against. I think I only had 2 or 3 guys in my squad at the time, and they just completely redlined us here, except for our spawn times on top. Yeah, if you are one of those players that gets stuck up here, try to jump down as much as possible. I mean, with me, I was using the mass driver to safely take out enemies from above, but if you know, don't just sit up there with your AR and try and kill people, because it's not good for your team, and you're gonna lose the match because of it. So there you are. I think I think it went like 21 in this match, which for using Mass Driver wasn't bad. I was using a cheap fit, which, you know, at using a Mass Driver, you want to be just okay with dying. If you suicide with the Mass Driver, you know, just tell yourself, okay, you know, at least they didn't get the kill. But I mean, if you look at that, like, we only had 3 people that were really working, and they had an entire squad working together right there, and so, you know, congrats to them. I think Hellstorm is a great team to go up against, but again, me and Headshot right there earned, you know, almost an orbital each ourselves, and you know, I mean, what can you do? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in another video, alright?